The next stage in our process is the connect stage. And of course, this is the one that we're hoping for, right? This is the reason that we've discovered and that we've researched and that we've gone to the trouble of creating a number of different correspondences through our approach stage of the process. What we're trying to do here, at least in my opinion, is secure a scheduled time to speak on the phone. Now, there's nothing wrong, of course, with trying to call somebody and reach them at a time when they're not expecting a call. Try to reach them during the lunch hour. Try to reach them early in the morning before they've engaged in their first meeting, or maybe even before their assistant shows up to start screening the calls. I believe in all of those, and I've used all of those. But what we're really going for here at the end of the day, I think, is a scheduled time to speak on the phone. A time when they're willing to stop, think a minute, receive your phone call, and have a conversation with you. In fact, that initial call that you make during the lunch hour or at 6 p.m. at night will probably simply be one more way to touch them or approach them to try to get this scheduled time to speak on the phone. Because if you're really going to have a conversation about how your company might be able to help their company accomplish a specific business goal, it really is going to take a conversation, and something that you don't want to happen when they just happen to pick up your call while they're waiting in line to board an airplane or standing in line at Starbucks or something. It needs to be a call that you've planned for, that they've planned for, and that they want to be on with you. That's what we're going for. That's the objective of this connect stage, if you will. Now, when we connect, we want to turn this into more of a dialogue than I think a lot of salespeople tend to do. For years, I have heard, and you've heard no doubt too, this philosophy of creating what's called an elevator pitch. And the concept with an elevator pitch is, if I was going to jump on the elevator with a prospective client and I was going to ride to the 14th floor, what are some things that I could say, that I could spit out at them in that 30 seconds that would really catch their attention? And of course, I think you probably already believe, like I do, that an elevator pitch is pretty ineffective, because you talking at them, you don't need 30 seconds to turn them off. They'll get turned off in about 3 to 5 seconds with that kind of an approach. What I want to suggest you do is create 3 or 4 good elevator questions. What are the things that you would ask if you were to step on the elevator with your prospective client? What could you ask them on a 30-second elevator ride that would cause them to think, you know, that's a good question? Let's talk about that. I'm not sure how I would handle that situation. And in essence, ideally, what you'd really like to do is to ask them some questions they wouldn't think to ask themselves. That's what an elevator question really is all about. It's to get them thinking and to recognize that you're bringing value as a consultant, not just as a salesperson. Now, you also might want to share a relevant success story with them on that initial telephone call. And it could be part of that scheduled telephone call, or it could be part of the call just prior to that to get the call, or something that you could weave into an email. A success story is an example of how you've helped somebody else like them solve problems that they're likely facing as well. Can I make a suggestion here? Try to make these role specific. So, if you're calling on a CIO, for example, share a success story about how you've helped the CIO, not how you've helped somebody in marketing. Likewise, if you're calling the Vice President of Finance, be able to talk about how you've helped other Vice Presidents of Finance do things that Vice Presidents of Finance want to do, like improve asset utilization or return on investment, or the measures and metrics that are key to their world, not necessarily, let's say, the technological advantages of your product, which might matter a lot to the users of that product or to the IT department who has to install and implement that product. But to the executives that you're talking to, make sure that you are sharing examples and reference stories and so forth that mean something to them based on the role that they fill. This means you might have to prepare several of these, right? If we're going to call to several different people in an organization. Now, we've talked a lot about diagnostic questions in our program, and diagnostic questioning, I believe, really is the way to get your customer to get interested, let's say, in what you can do for them. Now, let me be very specific about this. You'll notice that it says here, use diagnostic questions to generate interest in the results. Point C, that you can help them to achieve. I think that we make a mistake sometimes thinking that I'm going to generate interest in what I sell. your customers don't have a whole lot of interest in what you sell unless what you sell ties back to helping them achieve a specific goal or objective they already have. And so what you're trying to generate interest in is the results that you can help them to achieve, not in the products and services that you sell. So diagnostic questions are designed to do that. And as I said, I think you are already familiar with the diagnostic questioning process and have gone through some of that previously. Now, what we're trying to do through this connect stage is to close on the next logical step, which is a scheduled meeting with your client. Now, let me make one clarification. Some of you may not travel to see clients. Or if you do travel to see clients, you may not just want to jump on an airplane just to go see a warm body. You might want to have a conversation and further explore the possibilities, do some more qualification before you take the time and expense to go see them. But we're trying to turn this initial telephone conversation into a more meaningful conversation. Hey, ideally it would be face-to-face, but if there are good reasons for it, then maybe it's a more extended telephone call. You might want to involve 2 or 3 people from their side. You might want to involve a technical expert from your side to further explore the possibilities. And as we do that, then we're ready to enter the next stage of this process, which I call the engage stage.